G'day and welcome to Space Engineers Completely Vanilla. This is 100% vanilla because I am playing on one of Keen's official servers. I've done something a little bit similar to this in the past and it was a load of fun, so I thought it was about time to do it again. But this time, the difference is I am a long way from anywhere. I am 246,000 kilometers from where I think the Earth-like planet is. And if I'm going to manage to get all the way there and then hopefully go around to all of the other planets too, I'm going to need a few jump drives, but I'm going to need at least one. So that means I'm going to have to put together what I can from the asteroids. I'm going to have to pray to the RNG gods that I can hopefully find some cobalt and all the other goodies so I can put something real together and actually, manage to build something. But if not, we're just going to have to make do with what we have. Since I'm starting with the space survival pod, there's a fair bit more on board than there would be if I was starting with one of the small grid ones on a planet. But still some serious limitations. I'm going to start with putting this to depressurize, and then potentially, since it's not able to, I think I'm just breathing that out. Let's just turn that off because that's going to chew through power. And then let's have a look. I'm not too worried about that gas escaping. It's just going to happen. What I'm first going to need to do is probably get myself some sort of drill. And I think the best way to do that is actually add a drill directly onto this ship. The best location for that is probably going to be somewhere up here. Since we've got a conveyor junction there, we've got this vent here. I can grind those out. I can replace this air vent with a refinery. So we can aim to get that built up quickly. And then on top of this conveyor junction, nicely fits a basic assembler. So we'll stick that there. Now some of you are probably wondering, which server am I playing on? Well, it's a mystery, at least until I accidentally leave it in an edit somewhere, which is probably going to happen, but hopefully not too soon. Just in case someone nefarious decides to put a rapid end to my plans here. But, that's the reality of playing on a server I don't have control on. This could happen. I can't do anything about this. Speaking of things I can't do anything about, let's unlock some things with progression, because that's going to drive me nuts. First off, I'm going to grab... I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to grab the parts from here. Then I'm going to grab a small cargo container, and I'm going to make it in small grid, just floating in the middle of the air. Just floating about there. Because now I've unlocked conveyors. That back, up in a conveyor junction here. And then I'm going to want to have access to ship drills. And I think to do that, there are a couple of steps I need to go through. I don't need to do this landing gear thing here. I just saw it there and was like, oh yeah, this is an easy thing to do. Build the landing gear and that at least unlocks my cockpit blocks and the like. I can grab this remote control, do the same, build it in small grid. Just don't bump into it, because then it'll float away, like so. Just going to make this more awkward now that I've done that. There we go. Oh no! I got rid of my grinder. Come back here. Okay, what else did I need to do? Drills. Progression, where are drills on here? Oh, no, I have unlocked them. Cool. So with drills unlocked, I can have a bit of an idea about what I'm going to need. Now, obviously, I could do some sort of conversion to small grid here in order to make the drill a bit easier to build, because the large grid drill is quite expensive. But I'm just going to slap that on there for now and hopefully get this refinery up quickly. So, let's go find out what is in these asteroids around me. There's, I think, ice directly ahead of me, which is rather convenient to have started right next to. But I would I guess I'm kind of hoping that I've got something more interesting here. Silver? Silver's not that interesting. At least not right now. It may be later, and it looks like that's mostly what's going to be here. Oh, no, there's iron. Ha-ha! Excellent. The reason I was really excited about iron, and I was hoping I would find some here, is that iron is going to shortcut a lot of things here for me. By having iron, I can now build that refinery and start refining iron straight away, which is going to make building up the drill heaps faster, which means I can just stick with the large grid one because the time difference once you're refining iron really doesn't make a big difference. Alright, so that was over this way. Let's turn around and fly over so that I don't have to keep coming back and forth with all this stone that I have to mine to begin with. One thing you're going to notice me not do here is I am not going to mark anything as I go. I'm not going to create GPSs. I'm not going to use GPSs. I am just going to fly around and keep gradually heading slowly towards that home marker, jumping from asteroid to asteroid. Part of the reason for this is I think it'll be fun. And the other part is that way it makes it harder for people to find me, which is also part of the fun because I'm sure some are going to try. It wouldn't be fun unless there was a little bit of challenge, right? Oh wait, I want stone first. What am I doing? Too focused on feeling so great at my deviousness that I completely forgot that I actually need to collect stone first. I could get all the bits just from grinding stuff off this. Because I'm going to need another 5 computers and another... what's that? 33 steel plate? In fact, I might manually order that up. Throw that in. Grab the O2 and H2 canisters. Pop all this in. And let's get a bunch of stone refining. We need 5 computers. I'll just put 40 steel plate in there. And then the refinery's up, and then I can use steel. Oh. Forgot that I disconnected the survival kit from everything else. Whoops. Should probably fix that. Something I'm going to have to do very, very soon is I'm going to need to make sure that this thing is no longer a respawn ship. So, because it's a temporary ship, I want to make sure that it's not a temporary ship when I disconnect from the server, otherwise I'm going to have to start all over again. Why am I so confident about that? Because this isn't my first time. I tried to record this a week ago, and yeah. Oops. I have to restart. It's really sad. I'd made so much progress. But that's the nature of no control. With those done, I can actually just go and grab the rest of the steel plate from around the place. Spots that I reckon I'm probably going to grind off anyway. Need another 9 steel plate. Cool. Refinery done. Oops. Refinery done. Helps if you don't start welding up the assembler, as you said. Okay, cool. Let's get some iron. So to start off with, for space, I think my main goals are going to be securing myself some sort of reliable or long-lasting power source. So whether that's going to be solar power or whether that's going to be, if I get very lucky, uranium. Or, since I know I have ice right here, it's probably going to be hydrogen power. I'm most likely to use that to do all of the work for me. Since I should be able to, just from these basic minerals, put together something pretty robust and able to charge up my batteries really quickly. I can build a few extra batteries with the stone and iron here. That should hopefully get me to a point where I get at least a week's worth of power into my ship. Because that's what I want. I want a goal of a week's power, just in case I can't check in on it and refuel it before the next time I get to record. I should have enough iron on board now to build that drill. Just got to get a bit more stone so that I can make up the stuff for the basic assembler. Because I need the basic assembler so that I can make the tubes that are going to be needed for that drill. Basic assembler, slap it on there again. I'm going to right click on that to add it to my build planner, and I'm going to then shift middle mouse to make it added to my queue for my survival kit. So I need to make sure we've got 16.67 nickel and 12 silicon. Definitely got the iron, so I can already see it there. Alright. Fair bit more stone to be mined. Once I've got the drill and things up, then I'm going to do the conversion for the ship so that it's no longer a temporary ship. Just going to have a quick look around while that's finishing off the computers for the basic assembler and see what else is around here. There's more iron in this asteroid. There's probably going to be more silver around here. I'm just kind of hoping that there might be some cobalt. I think I'm dreaming. In fact, I kind of know I'm dreaming, but I would feel bad if I didn't check these places out at least semi-properly. I found a bit more ice. I found more iron. and I haven't really found much else other than the silver that I already knew about. So that means I'm probably going to want to make as much use of the ice that I can get from here before I move on. I'm going to have to do that without having any grids, because I can't find any cobalt, and that means I'm going to have to do some funky things with storage. But that's okay, because that's kind of part of the fun. I know what'll happen though. I'll go to all this effort to make some storage out of weird and wonderful things, and then I'll find cobalt on my first asteroid. Alright, now I just wait for the drill to be made. I think I need to get some more stone though, because I don't think I've got enough for all the nickel. Okay, time for this to get a lot easier. Drill is complete. Oh yeah. Let's go grab some of that stone so that we can get a decent supply of nickel. Clear that off my hotbar since the block's now gone. Block tools, drill. One of the other things I'm going to need to obviously fit on this is a large grid ore detector. Not super important just yet, but will definitely become so in the future. As soon as I need to have it by the time I leave this asteroid. This little cluster of asteroids. So I'm going to see if I can collect enough materials to build the 5 drills. Then I'm going to start working on power systems utilizing the ice that I can find here. And then see how much storage I can manage to cobble together from various bits and pieces. Drill's full. Let's just reverse out. Let's place a few more. So I think I'll go just a little cross shape since I'm limited to 5 of these. Like that. Another one up here. And another one down here. So for that, I'm going to need to get rid of this window. Then, since drilling is always seeming to be done in the dark, let's add a spotlight under here too. Okay, drill's complete. Nice. And drilling, for me, is a thing of the past. Let's see if we can get down to where that iron's at. Well, see if I can get down there without blowing something up. Not worrying about this silver just yet. I'll probably do that as my last thing to mine, because I can't process it, which means it's just going to occupy inventory space that I'm kind of wanting to keep for stuff like, for stuff like the ice, iron, etc. while I'm processing all that. And that spotlight is doing next to nothing, so I might put some interior lights down there too, just to help out a bit. Let's check those drills. They full? Not quite, no. That's a good start for the... Actually, I think I've gotten a good start for the silver collection too. Oh no, they're all single digits. I thought that was like 40k or something in that one. What am I running into and where? Oh, it's the spotlight. Didn't quite set myself up right to just drill through there. There's a part of me that's going to be tempted later, once I've got more materials, to actually make a separate mining rig. May well be large grid, but a separate mining rig to be able to, like, to try and let me get into spots like this a lot more easily, because it is not easy when you're flying something like this, especially once this starts getting really heavy. Like, it's already up to 457,000 kilos. It is already proper heavy, which means the chances of me breaking something if I tap against a wall is fairly high. Alright, I think I've got enough iron for quite some time. Let's get around to the sunny side just to make this a bit easier to work with. I'm going to merge block this to the asteroid. That should, assuming nothing big's changed, that should allow me to take this from being a temporary ship to being my own permanent ship. Let's see if I am correct. Where are my pistons? What do I need to build to unlock pistons? Batteries? Really? Alright, fine. Oh no, wait. I can make a solar panel. That's possibly more useful and not wasteful. Maybe. I'll build one anyway. Solar panel on there. Suppose it can't hurt to get a little bit of power while I'm waiting. And for the sake of some symmetry, let's put another one here. Okay, solar panels made. That means I can now make the merge blocks. Grab a couple of those. Basically what I'm going to do is stick an armor block, or several, out of this asteroid. Stick a merge block on the end, and then I will drive the ship into that and merge block it down, which will turn it into a static grid, which is a temporary thing. Then once I've confirmed that it's not getting the temporary ship, it will get removed after you leave the game or spawn a new one. Warning, I can disconnect it. and fly away with a ship that's properly owned by me. Simple. Alright, those are done. Let's merge this thing down. Try not to break anything. Up, up, and hey! No warning, let's grind this off. See if we can get this thing mobile again. Then we're all good. Now, it doesn't matter how many blocks you have stuck into the asteroid for this. I just put down this many just to make the merge block into an easier spot to lock onto. But, as you can see, no longer getting that warning. I can then name my ship, and all is good. Cool. That's that step done. Next is going over to the ice and producing a whole bunch of fuel and a whole bunch of power. So, let's do some remodeling. Grind out these parts. Then, what I want to do is start by grabbing an O2H2 gen. I think I might place a pair of in here. One there and one over this side. I'll build everything on this side first, and then I'll get rid of the other side. No, with the doors that should be fine, actually. I was a bit worried for a second that I was going to split the chip in two, and that would have been very annoying. I do want to avoid that. That would be very difficult for me to deal with right now. Okay, so pair of O2H2 gens. We could then go with conveyor pipe there, which can then go on to stuff I can't build until I've built that first O2H2 gen, because I want to put a couple more engines on here. So my goal with O2H2 gens and hydrogen engines is to try and get enough O2H2 gens on here that I'm getting slightly more fuel than I'm burning when those engines are running at full tilt. So that means I'll probably need one more O2H2 gen than engines. Currently I have 3 O2H2 gens on here because I just built an extra 2, and I have 1 hydrogen engine, so I need to find some spots to put another couple of hydrogen engines and then figure out where I'm going to put stuff for storage as well, because that's going to be needed. I want to go more... I can make a hydrogen engine here. Something like that. And then I can flip around and put another one on the other bit. I think my gradual progression with this ship, while it's still all attached to the drills, is to condense it up into the form factor of those drills as much as possible. Try and make it easy for me to kind of just tunnel straight through an asteroid, which will mean trying to get rid of this bottom row. Should be doable. Although now that I think about it, I probably should have done it the other way and put the 3 drills at this height and dropped away the stuff that was on top. But, it's done now. Honestly, I probably won't need to worry about it at all. There is another unfortunate side effect of me hanging around at this location in order to take advantage of the ice here. Because I don't have cobalt, I can't get better tools. Nerds. To keep the survival kit attached. Actually, you know what? I was going to worry about keeping the survival kit attached where it is, but I'm actually going to change things up here. I'm going to grind this out. Get rid of these 2. I'm going to move that survival kit. It's always always a thing that makes me a bit nervous to do. Wait, no, don't want to do that. I wanted to put an O2H2 gen here, but that way round. So if I put an O2H2 gen this way round on this spot, I can then, in theory, flip that survival kit around, attach it on and have it piped up again. As long as I don't die right now. Okay, that works. Bit more space up front. Survival kit's awkwardly sideways, but it works. And it's properly piped up now. Even though you can't tell, because I've actually burnt through all the ice. Oops. Oh, wait, it's not piped up. Because I haven't finished this O2H2 gen. Oh. I just realized something. I've done this a very dumb way. I'd originally put these at the front to just try and make the engines pushed a little farther back, but the engines aren't really the delicate thing that I need to protect. Hydrogen tanks would be. So I might replace these, flip them around, and move a couple of things around. So the idea would be I'm going to place 2 engines down, starting on top of this drill and going backwards, Then, where these two temporarily, well, these two partially built, I should say, engines are, I'm going to place 2 hydrogen tanks. Because those do go boom, and those do need to be protected. And we go like this, and then flip this around. And we got that all nice and piped up. And I'll do the same on the other side. Yeah, this makes a lot more sense. This is a much better build. I kind of realized I was doing something silly as soon as I looked at it, like, I should add some hydrogen tanks to this. Oh, right. I don't have anywhere to put them. That's safe, because I've taken the safe spots with all of the hydrogen engines. Ah, nuts. I've filled up the inventory of my basic assembler. I'm going to need to build something to fix that. I started building up a supply of, well, I thought I'd be smart and build up a supply of power cells for building some batteries. As it turned out, those same power cells are now blocking up the assembler and I can't build anything. So I need to decide where I'm going to put some batteries down. I think I might just slap some on the back here, so that I can get those components out and out of the way. Okay, that should give them some room. Okay, now that I've got a hydrogen tank, I'm going to just drive myself over to one of these ice deposits and try and mine a little bit of that, since running this refinery and assembler constantly is probably chewing into my power reserves, and it might be nice to see if I can prop them up a little bit. I think some ice. Where's the ice? Trying to remember where I saw it. Should really build that ore detector. Oh. Well, there's something I'd forgotten. In removing the... In making this no longer my respawn pod, it's no longer attached to that GPS marker. Well, at least I get to see how far I've come from where I started. I'll rename that GPS at some point. Use that as an indicator of my success or failure so far to actually make it back towards the planets. I do have a plan to make it more interesting than just visiting each of the planets, but I'm going to reveal that plan a little bit later. I'm going to hop out of this and I'm actually going to check where this ice is at. It's like, clearly, I have a worse memory than I thought. Oh no, it is on this. Just came around to the wrong side. This little ball is actually... Oh no, all the ice is inside. Ah, that's actually a really good thing. The kind of deposits of ice and other ores tend to be kind of spherical. So if it's all internal, that means we've got pretty much the whole sphere. And that means we've got lots of ice. Not that I'm going to need to use up the whole deposit. There's no way I'm going to get that much. That would be a thing I could do with a much bigger ship, but with this size of thing, it's not realistic. Still, let's dig a nice wide hole so I can actually get into this thing. If I take my time like this, having the wider ship than the drill set shouldn't be too big of a problem, but it does take quite a bit of extra time having to drill out this way. So I kind of make a little bit of an advancement, clear out a big enough tunnel. Also, there will come a point where I'll kind of get deep enough that I may have some troubles clearing it out this way, if I don't clear it out quite wide enough to begin with. Because my tail will start whacking on things. Ah, I've reached the ice. Right, I need to get those lights on there. I can't see squat. Interior lights. Alright, with some lighting, we can now much more easily see what I'm doing. Although, it's still not that easy because of all of the rubbish that I'm spraying off with these drills. That are creepily silent right now. Kind of weirding me out. I'm used to everything being so loud and it's all just quiet. Almost peaceful. Till some jerk starts talking over the top of it. Should have grabbed enough ice to get things going. Let's have a look. If we've got all our O2H2 gens, let's check the inventory first. That should be what I do. Right, they've all got stuff in them. Now let's check our engines. They are filling, but this one is currently off. So let's turn it on. And they're all almost outputting at 100%. And they are still filling. This one's not, though. Weirdly. Why are these ones slowly filling and that one's slowly emptying? Huh. I think I do need one more O2H2 gen for what I've got going on here. and then I'll be fine. So let's get this battery built. Stable fill, stable fill, stable fill, stable fill, stable. Alright, so with 1 to 1, I've got basically perfect balance between the hydrogen engines and the O2H2 gens, while the engines are outputting at absolute maximum. Now in theory, if I set my batteries all to recharge for the moment, once they're completely full, I should end up with an excess of hydrogen that then goes into my tanks. Practice though, I kinda wanna get another O2H2 gen running on here so that I can start building up that excess while I'm here. O2 generator number 6. Let's see, I don't have any ice. One thing I've got a bit of a problem with at the moment is the... Oh, actually, it's only one of my drills that's full. Let's spread this out. Spread the love between the drills so then I've got a bit more room to fill up with ice. See if that 6th one is enough. Now, you might be wondering, why am I building so many engines, so many O2H2 gens? Well, it's just to make sure that I can produce power fast enough. I want to be able to have enough power here that I can easily have the batteries fully charged before I log off. Because I want to make sure that just in case this actually runs while I'm not on the server, and potentially while no one's on the server, I've got enough power to last me till I can next get on and record. I don't want my ship to get deleted because running out of power is one of the things that would cause that to happen. So having the solar panels to collect a little bit of power is nice, but realistically, I need something to do it quickly, and that's where this ice comes in. Let's check the drills, make sure they're not too full. This one's a bit full. Let's shuffle them around a bit, empty out the full ones and move them into the empty ones. I don't know why some of the drills get more full than others. I haven't really bothered to name them in any useful way so that I can figure out which ones get more full first when they're in this sort of setup, but anyway. I now have 19, so that's 20, 40, 50, 70,000 ice beyond what's in the 6 O2H2 gens. If we have a look at our engines, they should be filling. Good, the ones that are less full are. And that means once they all get full, I should start seeing some appear in my tanks if I've got enough, if I've managed to collect enough ice. Now, if we have a look at my batteries, the original batteries I came with are now fully charged. They're not getting filled at all, which means, are my engines even outputting at their maximum? They are. So these two are going to be fully charged in just 10 minutes. Then I'll have 4 100% fully charged batteries. Perfect. All right. What else do I need to grab from here before I go? I'd like to get some silver. So what I might do next, before I leave this first cluster of asteroids, I am going to make up some weird storage on this thing. And by weird storage, I mean using things like welders and connectors and grinders for storage. Because I don't really have enough space for everything. Alright, now the solar panels are in the sun. Let's start with a conveyor junction. Right on here. I think what I'll do is I'll go conveyor junction there, then we'll do a row of grinders. I just want to make sure the grinders can actually hold ores before I get too excited and build too many of them. Because it's really the ores I need them to hold. And if they don't, then I'll do connectors. The reason to go with the tools as opposed to going the connectors is that the tools hold twice as much, or almost twice as much, holding 15,600 versus the 8,000 that a connector would hold. If the tools can't hold stuff like ores, then I very much will be using connectors because they hold everything, even though they're smaller. Obviously, the reason I'm not building just straight up cargo containers is that in large grid... Oh, hold up. I'm being a bit of a dope here. In large grid, to build a cargo container, you need grids. And to build metal grids, I would need to have some cobalt, which I don't have. But I could just subgrid on some small grid cargo containers instead of doing things this way. And I think I'm going to do that. Let's not... Oh, actually, I'm here now. Let's test to see if I can put ores into this thing. Oh yeah, the grinder will hold it. Cool. But I'm going to do this differently. Let's get rid of this thing. I'm going to build a connector on here, and I'm going to build a bunch of small grid, large cargo containers. Let's do it this way. A little pipe on the side each way for this thing. One there. One here. Follow that with a connector. Then we'll build a small grid connector onto that. Lock it down. And voila. Storage. Good part about this is small grid, large cargo. Same capacity as large grid, small. So it won't be too bad having a few of those. And plus, I think this will be a bit of a fun way of doing it. Alright, we need connectors. There we go. One there and one there. Either side of this thruster. Of course, I now have to flip my ship over so that these solar panels aren't being blocked, which means they will be blocked from the other direction. Oh well. It's not going to matter. The solar panels are not going to be relevant. I have so much power being generated by those engines that it's really just not going to matter. There are so many different options for coming up with weird ways to do cargo when you don't have access to cobalt. But this is probably going to be my preferred. Just spamming down small grid cargoes. I've only got one battery that isn't fully charged, so the hydrogen engines are almost full. Which means I will probably end up with hydrogen tanks getting filled very shortly. So this is going very nicely. Strong start. I'm pleased with this. I may not have cobalt, but starting with asteroids that have ice and iron seems a little bit almost too fortunate. But I have no control over this, so yeah, I just got lucky. Okay, since I'm in space, this gets a lot easier than it would be if I was in gravity. So if I simply flip this around, hold down control to flip by 90 degrees as you rotate things, and then place this, and then place this right in front of the connector, I shouldn't even need to move. That there should be right. Yep. Since we don't need power for connectors these days, this is much, much simpler. So, with the connector placed there, once it's built, I'll just be able to lock it down and start adding cargo containers to it. Control panel. Lock. It's at a slightly jaunty angle, but it'll be okay. And large cargoes, here we come. I want to make sure that I can get full-size cargo ports going through, so we're going to flip it this way. Aim to go for 4 to begin with, and then I'll build 4 on the other side. I think that'll be plenty. I think that'll be a strong start. Cargo, it's tough to say it's plenty, but definitely a strong start. Cargo's like hard drive space. The more you have, the more stuff you have to fill it. So I think with 8 of these, I should be able to mostly empty out the drills that are up. Drills so that then I'll be able to drill out some more stuff, and it'll be much better. Speaking of creating cargo space though, let's throw out this gravel. Don't need any gravel right now. It's not of value enough to hang around, to keep it around. And because I just dumped this in the way of the stuff that I'm trying to build, I'll just grind it down and destroy it. I mean, alternatively, I could just pick it up again and then throw it out over here. But sometimes you just want to destroy. Even though it's not required for these connectors to stay locked, I'm going to build a battery onto this little cargo attachment here, just because it is a server rule that all grids need to have power for them to not get deleted. If I disconnect this from my ship to move it or something like that, and I do that at the wrong time and it gets cleaned up, that would be kind of tragic for me. I would be sad. So I'm just going to be extra careful and build a battery on it just in case. Alright, battery built. Let's check on my drills and see if they're empty. If they're empty, I'm going to collect some ice, and then I think it's time to get an ore detector and get on the move. Doesn't look like a great place to get ice anymore. I seem to have collected most of what's there. I wonder if I can go to one of the other spots around here. Maybe I'll slap the ore detector on now and go to one of the other ice spots. There's obviously some surface iron over there too. So, ore detector. This seems as good a spot as any. I'm totally going to make this thing have some style to it, but only once I've got all the all the basic minerals. If I don't have all the basic materials, I've kind of just got to work with what I have. And that means we're going to go with something that's basically shaped like a twig. and not have any internal style. I don't know why I haven't built a second refinery yet. I probably should have. Would be nice to have that bit of extra production. But overall, I guess I haven't really needed it so far. There we go. Ore detector. Let's set that to max range, and then we'll go find ourselves some ice. And then I think it's time to get moving after that. Just collecting a little bit of silver. I think that's probably enough. What do we got? 25,000. Yeah, that's enough. For my purposes, that should be able to assemble a couple of reactors in the event that I find some uranium. Obviously, uranium's not going to be of any use to me unless I find cobalt first. But, you know, I'd be kidding myself if I didn't collect the silver now and I turned out I needed it later. Good to just have a bit for the moment. Let's clear out this rock and we'll collect that ice. Oop, clunk. Huh. Probably should have drilled out this from the other side. Oh, I didn't realize the ice was right on the surface on the other side of this. Oh well. Right, the drills are pretty full. How much ice have I got? Got a bit. I think it'll be enough. Because I think I might also have 2 hydrogen tanks that are almost completely full. Yep. Alright. With that, I think it's time to get on the move. I need to go out and begin my hunt for cobalt. Alrighty, so home, or what I believe to be where the Earth-like is 246,000 kilometers this way. And those asteroids are kind of close enough to in that direction, so let's head there and see what I can find. So I feel like this went pretty well. For my first cluster of asteroids, to have gotten a ship that's got a decent amount of cargo on it, it's got some good power generation capacity, I've got a bunch of drills at the front, ore detector, all the good stuff. I just really need that cobalt so that I can start putting down more things like a proper assembler, make myself some better tools, and use that silver, hopefully, towards my end goal of this, which is not just to visit the other planets once I get back, but to visit the other planets and pick up some passengers. I'm going to see how many people I can fit into actual cryopods on my ship before one of them betrays me and destroys the whole thing. Because that's always a chance. I hope it doesn't happen. I hope I can get at least most of the way through the trip to all the planets before something terrible happens. So there's all that, and plenty more to come. And I will see you then.